in his career, but hopefully he can work on that speed just a little bit. Perfect. Welcome back to episode 21 of our expansion franchise series, the Nashville Stars. Before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you all for supporting the channel and supporting these videos. This has been one of my favorite series I've done on the channel so far, and that is just thanks to you all showing and just coming at each and every video we drop. So I really appreciate it. But if you like today's video, do drop a like below and consider leaving a subscription if you wanted to stick around for more MLB The Show 25 content. We're also coming up on college football 26 in the next few months. So if you're into that, we'll be posting a ton of content for that as well. But with that out of the way, let's jump straight into it. So last episode, we were able to get into the thick of it. We are into the month of May. April was one of the worst months that we've had in a while, even dating back to last season or so, but it's been typically the trend so far. Our Aprils are pretty poor, and we don't do that well. But looking around the lineup, you can see that we actually have some decent stats going up and down. Luke Raley, a 366 average. That's good for second in the MLB. He also has above 1,000 slugging, almost 1,100 slugging, which has been absolutely crazy. 6 homers, 23 RBIs, so he's been an absolute gem for us. Josh Smith with a 240 average. And even when you continue down the rest of the list, the only real guys that aren't doing great are guys at the end of the lineup. Edgar Caro's here because of necessity. And then David Hamilton also is pretty much here because of necessity. We could put Eggy Rosario in, but he just doesn't hit righties. I mean, actually, he honestly hits righties about the same. But David Hamilton has a little bit of a better clutch rating and has more speed, and that's what we kind of like on the base pass. So hopefully David Hamilton can pick it up, and our batting order would be pretty solid from top to bottom. And then even moving over to our pitching rotation, it's been very good as well. Our top 3 guys are doing pretty good, below 4.5 ERAs. So if we can just continue to drive that down and drop that whip number down, it'd be really good. River Ryan has kind of got a bloated ERA in the last couple outings. His first 3 or 4, he was below or around a 3. And then Joey Cantillo, he's also has a very high ERA. So our back 2 guys in our rotation have kind of fallen off a little bit. And it's kind of similar to how the lineup has gone. So hopefully our back guys can pick it up. But if not, we may have to make a trade here in the next few weeks. But moving over to the bullpen, this is really the sore thumb. Micah Bell has been amazing. A sub-1 ERA out of the bullpen. Very good. Reed Detmer's not the same, above a 7 ERA. And then our middle relief guys have been pretty abysmal as well. So hopefully we can get this turned around and get this ship righted for the rest of the season. But that's not where I want to start today. Today I want to start in the minor leagues with a couple of our guys that we have drafted over the last few seasons. One of the first ones is going to be Johnnie Dell. You can see here he's batting a $146, only 1 homer, only 4 RBIs, and 50 or so at bats down here in the AA ranks. He just hasn't been able to get anything going coming off a preseason where he had above a 300 average in 50 plus at bats. He just hasn't been able to get things going down here in AA. He started the season out in AAA and was also off on a bad footing. So we moved him down to the AA ranks to get more hits. And maybe it's the slot we have him at. We have him at the 4 hole, but he has very good clutch. So I don't know exactly why it's not translating well to the batter's box. And the next guy we're going to for sure cover is going to be Ray McAllister. Another one of our top draft picks, still having a struggling season so far, $190. He does have 4 homers and 8 RBIs, so his OPS isn't the worst in the world at 718. But for a guy that we think is one of our top players in our system, we would love to see that go higher. So we're going to jump with these 2 guys, and we'll probably also jump with another 2 pitchers that we have just to give, kind of more rounded exposure to some of these guys on here. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into it with Johnnie Dell down in our AA ranks. But as we join here, it'll actually be Ray McAllister that we get to see first off, not Johnnie Dell. We'll be joining the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp at home versus Charlotte. Actually, we'll be on the road. No, we'll be at home versus Charlotte, and we'll get our first glimpses of Ray McAllister in 2028. This is the 4th season. So yeah, 2028, we'll be here with Ray McAllister in his first at-bat against Grant Taylor. Pretty unfortunate start for Ray McAllister this season. We were hoping he would be able to join the Major League team on opening day and be a part of the opening day roster, but he just wasn't able to get that done during spring training. It was a pretty abysmal spring training for him as a younger guy, below, I think, a 200 average and about 80 or so at bats, and that's just not going to cut it out against the top level talent around the league. So we stuck him here in AAA, and he's gone even worse. Hasn't really been able to show us what we thought he was going to show us this year. And if you all notice, we're going to try to do a little bit more of managering throughout the series as we get into the later parts. I haven't done that a lot during the first couple seasons, but let me know how you all like that, just so we can get a bigger glimpse of the game as it unfolds in our brief showcases. But as we get in here with the fourth at bat of Ray McAllister, he's gone 0 for 3 today, and that's just really exemplifying what has happened so far this season. He's been able to get a lot of big contact hits. His OPS is still very good, around that 700, or good enough for an average around 200. His OPS is really high, so he's still getting on base, getting a lot of walks, but strikes out there on a pitch that's a little bit outside the zone. And that is an interesting call there by the ump behind the dish. And you can see in the review, it barely kisses the zone. That was a bad call in our opinion. But as we're here showcasing Ray McAllister, we get a glimpse of Vincent Theophanopoulos. If you remember last season, we were able to pick him up in a deal, or it might have been 2 seasons ago, but he is a top 70 prospect, slated in at 63. The 20-year-old relief pitcher has been a very good addition that we got, 6th in the organization in terms of top prospects. He's been a very good addition, very good K per nines and walks per nines. So he's going to be able to strike out a lot of guys, but also keep that walk really low. Has very good velocity on his pitches. Would love to see a little bit more command around the edges, but hasn't really gotten blown up so far in his young tenure with the organization. And he'll get 2 quick outs here in the top of the 9th, hopefully to get us to that 10th inning or bottom of the half to see if we can do something. But PJ Morlando goes completely horizontal and isn't able to glove that one to get a 1-2-3 inning. So we'll have a runner on first. Theophanopoulos is going to run down this ball, but it's not going to be in time as the swinging bunt gets Valdez on as it has rolled a base hit. Morlando once again, full extensions, not able to get a Tibbs comes up firing, and it will be too late by mere seconds, as that was a good throw out there from right field, just isn't able to gun him down. And you can see here on the review just how close it was, as the Knights break the tie here, and they're going to get another run, at least 2 here, as that runner will be rounding third, and that is the biggest hit yet, 107 off the bat from Barger, as they add 2 more to the onslaught here, as Theophanopoulos will get sat down, pulled after getting 2 quick outs. Wasn't able to solidify it and get us to the bottom half, as the Knights will take the lead and eventually grab the win. But on to the second game of the showcase for McAllister. We'll be facing the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on the road this time. Actually on the road this time. And we will see the first plate appearance for McAllister. And he takes that one opposite field, 97 off the bat. He's been able to showcase some opposite field power as of late. Hasn't been able to do that recently, but maybe that was something he worked in the offseason, just able to kind of poke it the other way. Would love to see him start pulling some more and get into that, quick hands power type of thing as he goes into the double play for his first AB. Brian Logan on the dish today. Another one of our top prospects, the 13th in the organization. We're going to see him some throughout the day today. He looks to be a decent pitcher. Reminds me a lot of CC Sabathia, kind of a bigger stature guy. Doesn't have the insane velocity you would see, but his hits per 9, he relies a lot of low to little contact and a lot of swings and misses. As you can see here, he gets his first strikeout of the day of the heat up in the middle of the plate. Don't want to live there, as that will definitely hurt you in the long run, but comes back with a nice curveball right at the knees. A perfect placement for that pitch, right on the edge, maybe a little bit lower to fool the hitter. But in on the hands, that slider will get a nice awkward swing from Raphael in the batter's box to get the second out of the inning. But the third out doesn't come as easy as the first 2, as Nick Madrigal will go 99 up the middle to put the first base runner on for Logan today. Joey Gallo down here in AAA will be a big batter we have to face today. He will unfortunately pop this first one out. That'll be a 1-2-3-4 inning for Logan here to get out of that one. Not a terrible start, as we see he goes a little bit into the weeds here, as in the bottom of the second. We'll see him dealing with 2 runners on. And the third batter he faces will get a bloop hit into right field, and they'll send one but hold the second. And that'll be the first run Logan has given up today, and it won't come any easier, does it? He won't be able to get the play there as he lays out trying to bring that single back. That'll be 2 back-to-back runs here facing Logan. Can he settle down? Hernandez ranges into the deep parts of left field, able to snag that one, but the runner will advance 90 feet to get to the runners at the corners. 1 away, 1-2 count, up and in. Strike 3 on Dante Nori to get the second out of the inning, and he bounces back with another heater up and in on the righty to sit him down. So he's luckily able to hold him to 2 runs. But as we step into the 3rd inning, he's given up a solo shot, a single and a double. So we'll have to jump in, hopefully trying to keep this to limited run damage. Runners on 2nd and 3rd as Schofield Jr. comes up with a couple homers to his name, but he lines that one to Vargas at 3rd. That'll be an easy put out at first base. Pablo up now, swings and misses, slider at the knees. That'll be 3 runs through 3 innings for the Iron Pigs. But back to Ray McAllister now. 0 for 1 today with a ground out in his second at-bat of the day. He'll go opposite field. Great timing there. Pokes it to the left field side. And a 3-1 count. He's a first runner of the inning. And like we were saying earlier, he's been working on that all offseason, able to kind of level in, kind of get to balls a little later than he has in the past season. And he's able to drive it into the infield instead of fouling it off to get a lot more hits. It hasn't translated well this season, but it's been something he did work on. Next up, we'll see Johnny Veach coming up. We drafted him back in 2026, a round 3 draft. Another relief pitcher who has panned out to be very, very good. That K/9 is a highlight of his abilities, 86 overall and progressing. So hopefully down the line, he's going to be able to come up into the major league ranks and provide a lot of benefit in the relief position. But the first pitch will be a called strike 2. And he bounces back with that cutter at 97. Missed his spot, but it's a no swing anyways as he gets the strikeout. Veach has always been an interesting guy. Has 3 different types of fastballs that he uses. Highlighting the cutter there. Again, his put out pitch. He has a cutter, 4-seam, and a sinker. The sinker is a little odd. It's a little slower. Acts more like a circle change. But he's able to work it to magic there in that inning. McAllister for his 3rd at-bat of the day as he goes the opposite way once again. 105 through the gap there at shortstop and third base to get his 2nd hit of the day, back-to-back, 2 for 3 from the young center fielder as we'll get a top-level view of it. And he just absolutely ropes that one. Very, very good. He worked in the weight room a lot after his injury last season, was able to put a couple of pounds of muscle on and work that power up, and we're seeing it pay dividends here as the sac fly will score McAllister, but the runner trying to tag up to get the 3rd will get thrown out to end the inning. Back with Veach as he gets yet another strikeout on that cutter, and has been his most dominant pitch that we have seen these last few seasons. Morlando with the body block and is able to tag the runner out before he gets to first for the 2nd out of the inning. 1 more out, 1-1 count, swings through that sinker. You can see there coming in at 87, just drops off the plate and is a lot slower than his other fastballs. And that cutter once again gets the big name Joey Gallo, one of the biggest power hitters, 3 true outcome type of player in the MLB the last decade or so, will be sat down for the 3rd time today. Back again with Veach in his 3rd inning of work. Swing and miss on that sinker. Bases juiced. Isn't phased, but this time he will allow a hit. Tibbs comes up throwing perfect on it. Does it? Is it good enough? No, it's not. He gets in under the tag, and that is safe, so they'll allow 2 runs. But Veach this time gets the better of the 6th batter of the inning with the 4-seamer to sit him down. Up to day 3 now with McAllister, and the 3rd hit of the series will once again go opposite field, this time for a double. Good enough to score 1, not the 2nd. Would love a little bit more speed on the base pass there to get 2 RBIs, but it will break the 0-0 tie in the top of the 1st with a good way to hit it to the opposite field. Again, looks like it's starting to come around. We've beat the dead horse multiple times about it, but he's been working on it off season, so I love to talk about it. Here we see McAllister using a little bit of the speed that he has to get a good jump and snag his 4th stolen base of the season. Didn't get a very, very high top speed there, just able to get a good jump and pick the right pitch. He'll get in safe. He's not going to be stealing a ton of bases in his career, but hopefully he can work on that speed just a little bit. Perfect, perfect, deep to left center field, and that one will get over the wall. The first home run we've seen with Ray McAllister here in AAA. His 5th of the season, went 410 to the deep part of the ballpark. 106 miles an hour off the bat. And like we were saying, the weight room work this offseason is paying massive, massive dividends. Even though he's not hitting for a lot of contact, he's hitting for a lot of power, doubles, homers, being able to work the count, getting walks. He shows it here with a big, powerful swing to get over that high wall in left center. And that will be the end of the day for the picture, as we will see McAllister come to the plate for his 3rd AB. We'll get a quick glimpse of the replay, and you can just see that was a no-doubter from this angle. 2 for 3 today. McAllister will get in on this one. Finally goes to his side of the ballpark, pulls this one, but he just didn't have enough behind it. It'll be a simple flyout. The first pull that we see is a flyout, so maybe he just needs to stick with hitting it opposite field. This time we'll see Robbie Rooney, the 3rd pitcher of the showcase. He's a closing pitcher, the 67th prospect in all of MLB, our 7th prospect. He's a 23-year-old closer, a little older than most of our closers, but his potential is there. He's 70 overall, has very good stats. That ball per 9 is a little bit low, but the hits per 9s, Ks per 9s, even the home runs per 9s, not too bad. Hopefully he can work in that pitching clock as well, and he can make the moves up to the majors at some point. Probably not in the closing position. Will probably mostly be a reliever since we have Pete Fairbanks there, and probably will sign him back for at least a few more seasons. But Rooney would be a good leverage arm, maybe a high leverage arm down the line, as he gets his 3rd strikeout of the inning to seal the save and get another one for the season. He's been a very impressive pitcher as of late. Again, like we said, a little older, so he's a little bit more mature. But he gets his 11th save of the season. Player of the game goes to McAllister, 2 for 3, a homer and a double, all going to the opposite field as a lefty today. He did most of his hitting in his left batter's box. But as we continue to move on, we'll head down to the AA ranks finally to touch base with our former 1st-round draft pick from last season, Johnnie Dell. He's had a rough go of it, more so than Ray McAllister. At least McAllister's hitting for some power and getting some walks. Dell has not. He's not hitting at all. His swing's off. He's not working the count, not hitting for power, and he's just been very miserable. After we moved him down from AAA, he was only there for 2 or 3 games. Maybe that's gotten to his head, but he'll ground out here and just continue the woes. But maybe he thought he was a better player. He did have very good stats in the spring training session he was in with us in the start of this series or this season. He was batting, I think, above 300 and hit 60-something at-bats, so he was very, very good. Just wasn't able to showcase that here in the AAA or AA ranks so far. But Carlos Doe will get a little bit of a limited at-bats with him. A young 22-year-old, has very, very good bat-to-ball skills, decent speed. Would love to see a little bit more fielding to progress him into, maybe the AAA ranks here over the next few seasons. But he was a pickup in our last draft as well. But again, like I said, very good bat-to-ball skills against lefties. Just not a ton of power, so he's going to need to keep those hits on the ground or just, kind of line drives into the grass in front of outfielders if he's going to try to find success at any of these stages or any stops before the majors. But Johnnie Dell coming up in his 2nd at-bat there. Decent power, 93, but goes foul into the full count now early on it. And that's really been his big issue. Just not able to tie up the speed differential. If it's fast, he's late. If it's slow, he's early. He just hasn't really been able to pick his poison. And he's also getting decently unlucky. He's been able to kind of rope a lot of things into, gaps, but people have been able to run it down. And he's just not been able to really deliver a lot of those big hits like that were coming during spring training. So hopefully we're we're hopeful that he'll turn things around at some point in his tenure down here in AA, so we can promote him back to the AAA where he probably belongs. He's a 74 plus player. He doesn't need to be in AA, but we're trying to get his morale up. And what better way to do that to give him lesser competition so he can hopefully get a better average. It just hasn't shown so far in this one. But as we continue to keep simulating through this game, we'll see that the game goes tied late into this one, 0-0s, but the Trash Pandas finally get 2 runs on the board in the 8th. And we'll have one more opportunity here in the 9th inning to possibly do something. And who else comes up other than Johnnie Dell? Bottom of the 9th, 2-0. And he swings and misses on a slider away for the first out of the inning. But Jay Bashir's 265 in the season, 0-3 today, 2 on, 2-2 count, and he goes deep to left to walk this one off. Dell couldn't do it, Bashir could, and hopefully that'll spur something in at least the AA team, who's been on a little bit of a skid, to do something. But I really want to see Dell try to bring something back. He had the opportunity here to showcase some clutch. He has very good clutch ratings. I think it's 78 plus. Very good for a young 19-year-old, hopefully future right fielder of the organization. But he just wasn't able to deliver there late in that one. Next game here, it's a little bit of a downpour. Johnnie Dell, fly out, center field. Typical as this young season has gone on. Pretty common length of words there. Fly out, ground out, whatever out you want to get. Just hasn't been producing. Second at bat, similar to the first, another fly out, right field this time. Hasn't really been able to get good wood on the ball throughout this season. Next up, we're showcasing their 4th or 5th pitcher of this outing, Bryant Humber. First round draft pick, a compensation pick from 2027, so last draft, 18-year-old, very good potential, a little bit on the lower overall side. Not terrible stats for a younger guy who we didn't really plan on bringing up this year, but since injuries have plagued us and we don't have the greatest depth in starting pitching, he has made the move. Pretty abysmal start to the season, not going to lie. A 13 ERA almost isn't really going to cut it, but hopefully we can kind of get him lined out here. But he'll go back-to-back strikeouts to start the bottom of the 5th. Not too shabby if he can keep things like that going. His third out will be a little blooper almost to Costa behind the shortstop position to get out of that one. Johnnie Dell, 0-2. As most times we've seen him, a nice rope to shortstop, 99 off the bat, just finds a glove. Just isn't able to elevate and get it over the shortstop into some green grass. But as we come into the later stages of this one, Sixto Sanchez, a former Marlin player, I think he was on the Nashville Stars for a little bit before being released, will be facing Johnnie Dell. Bases juice, top of the 8th. And we can see that we did double check that Sixto was a part of the Marlins at some point. I was kind of surprised the name sounded familiar in the moment. But Johnnie Dell, bases juiced, 1-2 count, 2 outs. He has a chance to do it. Clutch, very, very good. And he goes on top of it. Great timing, just on the edge of the bat. Right back to Sanchez, and that will end the inning. And we have resulted in a loss in that game. Again, we've had some opportunities for Dell to get some big hits and some clutch moments, but finally, game 3, 4th inning, his second at-bat of the day, he'll get a single. He will get a single up the middle. Finally, we see something in his 12th or so at-bat of this one and gets a little fist bump. Finally, hopefully things turns around. But again, a decent contact or decent time swing just doesn't result in good contact, is not able to really find the good spot of the bat and get some good elevation. He's just grounding out a lot, lining out a lot, just hasn't been able to get anything going for himself. Eduardo Gomez, this time another pitcher we drafted later in the rounds. Decent player, second draft prospect on our team, 13th in all of MLB, which is interesting enough. He was a later round prospect, just has very, very good potential, A+ potential. But the first batter he will face will be Mark Canha, and he will go left field. Dale's not able to make the play. And that'll be a welcome to AA right there from the former, I think he was a top prospect or MLB player. I'm not exactly sure. The name is super, super familiar, but he will bounce back with a nice up in high heat, 92 miles an hour fastball on the edge. Comes back with the cutter to strike out the second batter of the inning to sit him down to keep that runner at second. Something I did notice about Eduardo Gomez, he has a very interesting deliver, almost side throws it, kind of a 60% or 60-degree angle, kind of almost fully extended out to his right-hand side. So it should throw off a lot of righties when they're coming to face him in the batter's box. It could be something like it comes almost from behind them, a little bit of an odd view. So hopefully that can work to his advantage against righties. But back up here with Johnnie Dell, will go back with another single. This time falls in a left field and will notch an RBI. One of his first RBIs in a while, the first one we've seen in this showcase. So thankfully, he's hopefully looking like he's turning around and going off on a good foot, as we'll jump back in with Gomez on another strikeout. Not sure what it is today as we've bounced around a few times, but has been pretty successful after that first inning where he gave, or second inning where he gave up a run. He settled down, not giving up a couple other ones. And we're up 2 runs here, but he bounces back with a changeup at the knees for a swinging strike 3 to get out of the 5th unscathed. And the youngster looks to be very, very good. I'm very excited about his future prospects if he can develop quickly. But back up, Johnnie Dell. Single today, 2 for 11 for the series, RBI to his name. Can he get another? Can he go 2 hits today? He won't be able to. Another great time swing just off the end of the bat. Maybe he needs a little bit of a longer bat. I'm not sure. It looks like he's chopping everything into the dirt every time he gets up to swing. But this time, his last at-bat of the day, top of the 9th. He'll get on that sweeper and time it up perfectly and sneak it over the shortstop for his first second hit game of the showcase. Thankfully, he was able to get at least a 2-hit one, but Ray McAllister had a very good showing as well. But as we get out of this one, I know this was a longer video and it was mostly just gameplay, so I hope you all enjoyed that. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. And if you liked today's video, do leave a like and comment or subscription down below. Any of those help out the channel and just continue to push these videos to other people who may be interested. So I appreciate y'all doing that. And I'll catch you all next episode 22 of our expansion franchise series with the Nashville Stars. I'm glad y'all tuned in, and I'll catch you all in the next one. And a huge shout out to Chris, our very first premium channel member. Thanks for all your support, man. It's really appreciated.